We're getting close to the end of Hanukkah, so here we are with the end of my Hanukkah week for the 12 flicks of Christmas with flick number 6. Here we are, putting us at the halfway point. This is one of the shortest things I will probably be covering this year, but it is one of the ones that I have been looking the most forward to on this list. Because honestly, it's been probably nearly a decade since I've seen any classic Rugrats. And here we are seeing the Rugrats Hanukkah special. My understanding, the new Rugrats show is also just put out their first holiday, actual holiday. So they did put out a Halloween special. Not saying Halloween isn't a holiday, but the holiday season, Christmas, Hanukkah, whatnot. Though I think it is time that we dive into this classic one right here. Now, instantly, I get a rush of nostalgia as I hit the play button and the classic opening starts to play. This episode is a bit different than others, being a double length special, being 22 minutes, instead of the two 11-minute segments that you might normally see in an episode. We have this being narrated by Tommy's Jewish grandmother, Minka. She's telling a bit of the story that leads to the miracle of Hanukkah. We get bits of this story told throughout the episode, um, mostly here at the beginning and at the end, with little, tiny bits in the middle of the episode. Of course, we get the babies playing different characters, just like they would in a lot of the other stories that we see in different episodes. They tell how the Jewish people were living happily in Israel until a new Greek king came to power.
Long ago, in the land of Israel, the Jewish people lived happily.
And he started changing things in the way of life and religion that people were practicing. Tommy and Chucky are playing a couple of characters who are reading this very interesting pop-up scroll. It's olden times, so they're reading scrolls, but they're little kids, so it's like a pop-up book. It's a version of the Torah, and of course, they're changing religions. You're not supposed to be reading the Torah, and they get caught, and they end up deciding they're going to fight back. That's when we actually see that the babies are being told a story, and we see the whole family. And it looks like Chucky's dad celebrating at the house together. Dee Dee and her parents are the ones who are Jewish. Stu marrying into the family, and they're sharing their holiday with their friends and their family. The babies are trying to figure out, though, what all of these different things mean. Like the food that's being cooked, the menorah that's there, why Tommy is getting presents every single night, and Angelica ends up coming along to tell them that the candles and everything is for Hanukkah.
Hanukkah! You have to when you say it.
Then we see Stu. Of course, he's a great inventor. He's making this giant menorah contraption. He's a great inventor, but he doesn't mean he's great at inventing all the time. He's building this giant menorah because it's going to be used in the Hanukkah play that his father-in-law Boris is going to be in. The babies think the man that Boris doesn't really like, his name is Shlomo. This man they think he's the meaning of Hanukkah because the adults were talking about the meaning of Hanukkah, and the babies, of course, being babies, misunderstood. They decide that if he's a meanie, they got to put him down for a nap. So they get everything they need to take with them, so when they go to the festival, they can put him down for a nap. Once they get to the festival, Angelica starts going around because all she wants to do is find a TV so she can watch the Cynthia Christmas special. But she's not having any luck. Of course, the play starts, and it's the same story that we were hearing earlier. Shlomo goes on stage as the king, and when the babies see him, they end up rushing the stage. This, of course, gets them put into the nursery, where Angelica ends up being put while she's on her hunt for the TV. She, of course, then tricks the babies, into trying to get a TV from the janitor while he's asleep so they can go through and put Shlomo to sleep, but honestly, so Angelica can watch the special. Shlomo and Boris end up getting in a fight while the play is still going on, and we learn that Shlomo really just doesn't have anyone to celebrate the holiday with. And he didn't end up having any children of his own. Angelica ends up stealing the TV after the babies end up getting it for her, and she runs off quickly. She runs into Shlomo and breaks the TV, and she starts crying. Boris comes to the rescue pretty soon to help because all the babies are there, but Tommy wants Shlomo to read the book. So we finish the story of Hanukkah, continuing from after the war that was started, the earlier bit of the episode, and they end up telling the story, the miracle of how the menorah stayed lit for 8 whole days when it should have only stayed lit for one. Stu ends up showing up with his contraption and he brings down the curtain. The audience sees the babies shortly after finishing their story, and we finish with everyone happily celebrating together. It's a fun and easy way to learn the basics of the holiday if you don't know basically anything about Hanukkah. It's bare bones basics, it's a kid's cartoon, but for me, I know little to nothing about the holiday, and it's a fun, easy way to learn just a little bit. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Happy Hanukkah. Some of us are born geeky. You have a good one.